Hello, and welcome to the Meditation Movement podcast with the British School of Meditation.
In this podcast, we will share all things meditation, including showcasing the wonderful work that our register of meditation teachers are doing all over the country and further afield in helping so many people benefit from this amazing practice.
Meditation and community are our two biggest passions, and we can't wait to share them both with you in this space.
So sit back, relax, maybe even close your eyes, and don't forget to breathe. We hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, I am Catherine Banks, and this is the Meditation Movement podcast with the British School of Meditation. And I'm here today with Melanie. Melanie is a social worker and a meditation teacher, and she trained with the British School of Meditation a few years ago. And we're here today to learn all about Mel's experience, ask her to give us some of the amazing insights about her journey into meditation and also her teaching. So I'm really excited to have this conversation and to speak with you. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you. It's a privilege to be on your podcast. So thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming and sharing all of this amazing wisdom with us. So we're going to be talking a bit about your your teaching, your training, and the amazing offerings that you are, starting to put out there into the world with meditation. But before we do that, I thought it would be just a nice start to kind of have a bit of a discussion about your meditation experience, because I know meditation's been a really big part of your life on different journeys that you've been on. It's not necessarily been an easy journey or a consistent journey. But would you be happy to share a little bit about your meditation experience? Why did you first start to practice meditation yourself in the first place?
Yes, I think that one of the reasons I started was because I was going through different difficult lived experiences, and I was trying to think, because I've had quite a journey in life, to say the least, and I think I was trying to think, was it my cancer journey that I started trying to listen to a few meditations at the end part? But then I think it was more when because of the cancer, I'm a survivor of breast cancer. I was diagnosed in 2013. And as part of that, because of my age at the time, they had harvest my eggs to see in the future if I wanted to have children, because sometimes cancer can cause infertility. So it was during my fertility journey, so I had to do IVF. It was at the later part that I started doing some meditations. And at that point, I don't think I really understood the benefits of meditation, but I knew that because I was working as a social worker, it was so highly stressed that we know that stress isn't good on so many levels, and I just needed to get that sense of calm. And even though the fertility journey didn't have the outcome I would have expected, or no, I even wanted, I still felt that sort of that calm in that moment kind of thing. And so then that was sort of my introduction, I guess, to a little bit of meditation at that point. And then through work, I was running a trauma group for women that had experienced childhood trauma. And as part of that program, at the end, we used to deliver meditations. And I started to see the benefits of that for the women. But as so many social workers, you kind of give to others, but sometimes you don't actually give to yourself. I had just changed over a job that I had a lot of challenges in, and my dad had passed away that January, and then but he was abroad, and when I came back, it was a week before we went into lockdown at that time. So then it was transition from, I used to work in children's, I'd moved to adult social care. I had just buried my dad. Then it was George Floyd was murdered, and that brought up issues around sort of racial trauma and secondary trauma of like that could be your brother, because I'm a Black British woman of Caribbean heritage. So it brought up so many different things, but the beauty of lockdown for me was it made the world kind of stop.
Yeah.
And I think that one of my coping strategies had been to be busy.
Yeah.
And it was only when I went on a training course and this lady, she said to me, busyness is an anesthetic for pain. Could be. And I thought, actually, that's me. I kept so busy because if you're busy, you don't have time to think. You're not living in the moment. You're just going from one thing to the next. And it caused me to stop. So in fact, I'm always on this, oh, I need to lose weight. So I'd bought, so I've got a spinning bike, and I said, oh, buy a treadmill, because obviously we couldn't do much exercise during 2020. And the Peloton app, which I'm not saying I'm promoting it or anything like that, but I bought it, just the app part of it. And I thought, oh, I can just use it to go on the treadmill. Well, in fact, I kept on being drawn to the meditations, and it isn't an app that you would actually associate with meditation, but it was a meditation that was so basic, so simple, so accessible. I just kept on getting drawn to them, and it was only like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it wasn't like you had to make time to do, you could just do it. It was things on sleep, on calm. And the thing for me is, as a social worker in such a high demand, and in all the different stuff that was dealing with the secondary and the racial trauma stuff that was being brought up for me, it was affecting my sleep. So I first really got led to it to see, can it help me sleep? So I used to listen to 3, 4, 5 meditations at a time at nighttime. But then I started to realize, with consistency, something that I wasn't that great at, I was actually, as soon as they said I was already asleep. And I just started to feel, well, actually, if it's helping my sleep, what else could it be helping? And I just started from there. Like when I look at my app now, I've done so many, like thousands upon thousands of different little meditations, but it just sparked this joy within me, and a peace and a calm, and so I just got completely drawn to that. And then I was doing a course as well. I did so many courses. I think I got addicted to courses during lockdown. And I did a course, and it was around sort of how do you deliver like training to adults. And because I'd been running groups, that's why work had put me on it. And you had to do a little micro teach. So I did one on one of my favorite topics, self-care. And at the end, I did a tiny little meditation. And it was so well received. And when I finished delivering it, I don't know, I just felt like something ignite within me, like this. It's so hard to describe it, like when people say like whether it's oxytocin, whether it's, I don't know what it was, but I just felt this sense of, I don't know, euphoria. It was just a feeling like no other. And then it was just so weird, because even though I had these difficult experiences, at the end of the first year of me transferring teams, I won a national award. And I kind of equate that to my difficult experiences, but the sense of calm that I started to experience, and that I think I almost feel like a light was then shining from me, to draw goodness to me, like favor. And I am a Christian as well. So it's like I had all these different feelings, really. And I know I'm going off the beaten track. So,
No, not at all.
but
No, it's
yeah.
so, yeah, that it's fascinating to hear, and so humbling, to hear about all the experiences that you've been through, and how you've been able to find that light from that you can then share to the world. That's honestly, it's fantastic, Mel. And even just sitting looking at you now talk about it, I can see your face and your
Yeah.
eyes starting to shine, and it's what a gift that you're able to share from those experiences that you've had with with your community. So what can you tell us more about the national award that you won? I know it was in because you're a social worker, aren't you?
Yes.
What was the
Yeah.
award?
So it was Adult Social Work of the year, and that was for year 2021. So then we received it, I think, in 22. And it's Social Work Awards. We've been having it for so many years because I guess the thing with social work is you only really hear of the stories that go wrong when, say, a child dies, or we haven't done something that we should have been doing, we failed to protect, and different things like that. So the Social Worker of the Year Awards is really just to shine a light on, actually, there's so much good that we are doing, and let's celebrate us. Sometimes it's we want to get the claps from other people, but we're going to just clap for ourselves, because actually we're there to serve the community. And most of, I would say all of us, wake up in the morning and want to do the best job we can.
Mm.
And so whilst I might have got it, that's for every person that's not really seen or valued. It's it was just such a beautiful moment, and you kind of feel almost unworthy because you're just doing what you love. You're just doing your job at the end of the day, but it's still nice to be recognized that actually you are trying to make a difference in people's lives. And so it was really nice to be awarded that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so you mentioned that, your meditation practice at that time kind of allowed you to feel calmer. Do you feel like that was a support for you in your role? Because I can imagine at that time, especially around lockdown, that I can imagine that was a really stressful time for you. Did you find that meditation helped you to?
I think that meditation is what actually got me through that
Yeah.
period of time, because everybody had I guess, their own coping strategy. And for me, that was like my breath. It was like such a, I don't know, it was a moment of calm, like I had a lot of reflective time. And so what I would do is, even though our work hours went from nine to five to 8 to 8, 7 days a week during lockdown. So it was very intense. It was something that I had never done before. So without sort of having the routine of the meditation. So I first was doing it obviously to sleep, but then I'll do it in the morning time, and that almost set me up for the day. So I'll say, I'm religious, so I used to like pray and do my devotion, but that was part of it. And then I found myself, because I went into a team was mental health and well-being, so people was anxious, people was depressed, people's, oh, like there was a lot of heaviness during lockdown. And it brought up a lot of trauma for people who had left abusive relationships. A lot of it just really, people was having time to think, and I guess in that moment of thinking, it brought a lot of trauma back to a lot of people in different ways. And for you to hold space for people, you almost have to have that space for yourself. So I would be sitting in my sitting room, but I would have like it's sort of like, I call it meditation music, but really calming music in the background. I would have my diffuser on. I would be in the moment kind of thing. So I would so present for people in that space. So without the meditation, I don't know, I would have just been doing what I was doing, but the quality, it enriched my productivity, it enriched my clarity. I was able to just hold space like, I don't know, it was almost like, felt like a special gift at that time that people needed. And but you had to be present for, and that's what meditation is. It's about being in the moment. And and it's all and actually supporting people, actually saying, well, have you tried meditation, or have you tried, like, and even if, oh, I don't have time, well, you could even just do it like when you're waiting for the kettle to boil. You can, like, giving little suggestions and just saying, actually, I've been struggling. I don't have to go into what I was struggling with, but it's given me that calm, that peace, that headspace kind of thing to just breathe and not just be on the go, because you had to physically be home, but are you at home within yourself? And that's where I guess coming home to yourself was with that meditation, really.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So was that a factor in helping you to make the decision to start teaching meditation or to train to be a teacher, how you were recognizing that you were, imparting those beautiful words of wisdom to the people that you were supporting? Or was there anything else that kind of encouraged you to train to be a
It
teacher?
it definitely was part of it, but I think for me, because of my religious faith, I wasn't sure around meditation. So the Bible talks about meditation, like to meditate, but then because I guess it's almost, some people say it's like in the Eastern world, like there's different misconceptions, and I couldn't work out if it was culturally or if it was religiously, or but the different sort of, when I say meditation to people, it was almost like, it's just open your mind to evil forces. People are, like your mind, like just so many different misconceptions. And I thought, well, actually, I'm feeling the benefits of meditation. I need to know more. I don't want to just go on what this generation has said, or that, like that person has said. I want to go to somewhere that, and I'm going to say the word wrong, but like a legit place. Like a reputable thing. I wanted to go somewhere that actually I can ask questions. I can say, this is some myths, this is some ideas that I've been told.
Yeah.
Is this going to conflict with my religious beliefs? Because obviously that's really important to me. Is and it's even just knowing, like, it's not hypnosis. It's can I just sit and speak to my teacher and say, actually, this is some things that I've been told about meditation. Is it true or not? Because sometimes we have stories that get passed down, but it just gets passed down. Nobody actually asks but is that true? Is there
Mm,
another way of doing it? And then through the school, we went through the myths, and I
yeah.
was like, actually, it doesn't, open my mind to evil forces, and, empties my mind to put anything that shouldn't be in my mind. It's just a part, it's just literally being present and being able to have that, my emotional regulation. It's just so many different things. And I was like, actually, I want to go somewhere where I learn that I'm not just on the internet. These are people who have been meditating, they know the benefits. It's a community where you can actually then get support afterwards. And I think that was nice. But also, as a social worker, I wanted to I wanted my colleagues to experience what I was experiencing. And I know that you can just go on the internet and you can get a really cheap sort of meditation course and say you're a meditation teacher. But I wanted to be something that was going to be recognized, regulated. And I think that was really important for me, to make sure that um, the sources that I was going to be using, that I was going to be referencing, and I had a good foundation. Because before I was just doing my own thing, I didn't have a community of meditators. I literally had my little Peloton app, and that was it. And, it wasn't live, it was just me going on it. I couldn't ask any questions, and everything's got its place, but having a community, and I guess that's one of our needs, isn't it, for connection?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was a big thing for me. So it was really to just make sure that I'm part of a community of like-minded people, that I can, if I'm going to teach, I want to be the best that I can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. That's absolutely incredible. So did you find that because you talked there about the looking at the myths and the misconceptions around meditation is, because that's one of the first things we do on the training course, isn't it? Understanding where, people might be coming from. So when you teach, we say, when you teach beginners, but it might not be beginners. It might be people who've been meditating for a while, like yourself, but still aren't really sure, how does this fit with my religious beliefs, with my, cultural practices? For you, did you find that work on the course helped you to understand meditation better for yourself?
Definitely, because I don't think, because I was like an open book. I was just like a blank sheet when I went. I had only done, like the Peloton app, and then when I was going through the fertility journey, I'd gone on a website and they had paid for a few sort of meditations around that, but I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if there's a specific way. Um, I just literally went so open to actually, yeah, I want to be a teacher, but actually, more importantly, I believe in there's this psychologist, Dr. Karen Cheisman, and she talks about modeling the model. And I wanted to model it because sometimes we speak about things, but if we haven't, let's say we have to live everything, but if my life doesn't show you that I'm actually experiencing calm, I can tell you about calm every day, but you're going to look at me and think there's a misalignment here. You're so, erratic or thing. I want to model, what does calmness look like? What does productivity look like? What does actually being in the moment and present look like? And so it was not, and it was really weird because I was trying to learn to be the teacher, but I was the student
Yeah.
in a sense of both worlds were meeting up. I'm literally a student in this place, in this space, but I'm also needing the information so that I can go and share. And what's nice is that you don't have to be an expert. That's what I learned on the thing. You can just go alongside people and just walk with them on their journey. And actually, we could still be learning at the same time as teaching, but I'm just sharing what I know, and that's okay. Even though I come to that, it's like I come to that, and then but then there's moments of actually, do I know enough? But yeah,
Absolutely. I think that's so important, isn't it? It's the best teachers, or they all have their own teachers. It's recognizing that we're all on a journey. Nobody's better. Just because you're guiding somebody in meditation doesn't mean that you're better than that person or more advanced. It's exactly as you said, we're just sharing what we know. And there's a saying, isn't there, that your biggest teacher are the people that are in front of you. So often you also learn from the people that you're teaching yourself, don't
yeah,
you? It's a two-way street. And I think I always say on the course, those people that aren't as, further along in their meditation journey or might be quite new to it, sometimes that can be more helpful when you're teaching because it's easier for you to put yourselves into the shoes of that person that you're guiding, to put yourselves into the shoes of that beginner, because it wasn't that long ago that you were there. And you
yeah.
might just be 1-2 steps ahead of them, but you're just sharing that wisdom along the way. And I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
And it's that beginner's mind, isn't it? Because you sometimes when we kind of know something, the curiosity goes out the window because, oh, I know it. When in fact, actually, when you've got that beginner's mind, you're just open to just whatever experience. You're just sometimes more receptive and more curious about it, and that's where the learning happens some a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We should all just walk around like we're young children, shouldn't
Yeah,
we? Just being curious about everything,
yeah.
which is, yeah, how we learn. So amazing. I've got so many questions to ask you. So when you qualified, or well, yeah, when you came to do the teacher training course, was it your intention to go on and teach social workers? Because I know that's something that's an area that you've started to work in now, isn't it? Teaching meditation to social, or guiding meditation for social workers.
Definitely, because I felt that we as social workers experience such high burnout. There's high caseloads, there's high demands. It's almost you're criticized by the people that you work with, by other professionals. It's like you never, it's whatever you do is never sometimes good enough or going to be right. And it's about then actually, how do you still hold space for yourself? How do you fill up your own cup? Because so many people are running on empty that then people are not as sometimes, with all the will in the world, the compassion starts to wear a bit thin. Sometimes people are a little bit dysregulated the way they might be really good with, like, say, the families they work with, but with their colleagues, they're really sharp, quite rude sometimes, like so many different things. And I thought, actually, we're, uh, we're in such a high demand, and we've, in fact, sometimes you make the decisions on people's life or death decisions, really, sometimes. And in fact, if you're not full and overflowing, how can you then continue getting up every day and giving of yourself? So there's lots of lots of people are being absent, there's lots of temporary workers, people are just tired and just burnt out. And I thought, well, if they can experience a little bit of what I've been experiencing, it can make a difference. Because well-being, there's well-being strategies. Most local authorities, all local authorities, the government's got all these well-being strategies, and social workers are part of that. But actually, what are we getting on the ground? What are we? And I've got a really good, the organization I work with, and I guess having the platform of having that award
Yeah.
actually then gave me a voice. So then people that may not have seen me before were now seeing me. So then it was an opportunity for me to speak kindness to people, speak well-being, things that were really, because my difficult experiences I've had through work, but also just in life in general. It was so important for me. Then actually, if I've got a voice, you need to make it count. You need to use it. So I've been able to do like meditation and World Social Work Day. We have this big thing in October, 2 days of, it's called community care. So they have community care live. So they will have different in London, so different people all over sort of the UK will go there, and they'll try and recruit social workers, but they'll have like different training sessions and things. And I've had the opportunity on for 2 years running doing meditation to social workers in that platform. And my training department is so good that where I work with, they even had me as part of the training offer at one point. So I was delivering meditations to like social workers, but then the wider council, then I've done like I think it was a mental health wellbeing day. So there's so many awareness days out there. So it was been nice to be asked, and that's where I've got the majority of my experience really is with social workers. And then you have the trick. Well, when I say social workers, they could be social care practitioners. So they might just work within social care, but they might not be actual social workers.
Yeah.
And the difference when you work with them is like, just thank you for the calm. I was so stressed before I came in. Leaving here, I don't have the headache I came with. And it doesn't take your stress away, I keep saying to them, but what it does, it gives you another tool to be able to better manage your situation. And when your head's lighter and you feel lighter, you're more receptive, you're not reactive, so it's really just sort of helped with a bit of some of their productivity, just sense of their value, just overall well-being, really. So that's just really been sort of helpful for like the social workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And I can, yeah, just again, you're able to shine that light, to your community, which is fantastic. So I mentioned, when I introduced you, you do have a business teaching, meditation kind of teaching business outside of your social work, don't you? Which is called Crown of Beauty, which I love. I love that name. Could you give us a little bit of background about where that name came from?
Yes. So it's really weird. So Crown of Beauty is a name that I've had when I went through my cancer journey. So it's come from a Bible scripture, and it talks about, I'll give you a crown of beauty for your ashes. And so it was really at the time when I had gone through, so I had long, sort of really long hair. It was, I guess the easiest way for people to sort of know it's as dreadlocks, but really thin dreadlocks. And at the time of going through chemotherapy and radiotherapy, you lose your hair. And well, not everybody lose their hair, but I was on the treatment. Mine was really aggressive, so I lost my hair. And but it was in my baldness, being bald, completely bald after having this long hair, and it was coming to the acceptance of actually looking different, feeling different. But it was in that I found so much strength, so much freedom, so much beauty. And it was one of my friends, she said to me at the time, she said, God's giving you your crown of beauty for your ashes.
Oh.
And it almost makes me tear up because I've got a picture. And when you see these pictures, they're my most beautiful pictures today. I used to go and do lots of sort of makeover pictures, but these pictures are me bald. And the beauty when I look at them, and I'm like, actually, at that point of losing it, your whole hair and starting your life again, but the beauty that shined, and I was able to talk to people about my cancer journey. I had a I had a different voice of encouraging women, go and get your breast checked.
Mm.
Early detection saves lives. And just through the beauty of that, and then even after my difficult experiences of leaving my one job to go to the other job, I then started winning awards. And I was like, again, in difficult experiences, I've got a crown of beauty, for these ashes. And it's just been, so when I had to break it, then when I wanted to start this meditation, I was like, there's no other name that I can call it but Crown of Beauty meditation practice, because it's through difficult experiences. And I'm not saying that any of those experiences were okay, but what meditation has also taught me is actually you go through difficult things, but it's being in the moment, it's being able to be present, but it's that acceptance of then how do I navigate this? I navigate that with a sense of calm, a sense of more acceptance, a sense of self-compassion and compassion for others because of it. And I just feel that no matter what you go through, is having that connection with people, being valued, and just that beauty that comes out of a lot of our difficult experiences.
Yeah, you're how inspiring. How absolutely. I started to get
Mm.
emotional there, and thank you for sharing that. Really, really thank you. It was an honor to hear the background behind the name, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing foundation for your business, to bring meditation to that wider space. And I know when we were talking before, and you mentioned a little bit about your teaching business, or your kind of, your motivations for teaching meditation, that you really wanted to focus on diversity and belonging, didn't you, as part of
Yeah,
or you do as part of
yeah.
your teaching. Do you want to share a little bit about that, kind of how you see that?
Yes, because I think when I was then sort of looking around meditation, I guess it was even when we was in the course, and we was talking about what does, like, the views that like the media shows of meditation kind of thing, but it wasn't anybody that looked like me. And but I was getting so much benefit from it. And yes, there's lots of people of color that what you could meditate, but like I almost felt like I needed a little bit of connection. And it was actually on Penton later on, they had this black lady who was actually doing meditation. And I was like, oh my days, there's somebody a black woman that's actually doing it. And I started listening, and her authenticity around what she was doing just really aligned with me. And I was like, actually, Black women are often not really in the media. We're sort of like really at the low thing of what's shining or thing. And in fact, the race we get sort of on gender issues around gender, black women experience it, but then also around race, you
Mm.
also experience it. And sometimes it's almost like you have to choose between, do I align with race or do I align with my female, and you shouldn't have to really think, but as black women, you've just got a different level of sometimes stressors.
Mm.
And I just felt that actually I also want my kind of beauty to be a space where everybody is seen, because a lot of time people say, oh, I don't see color, I don't but actually I want you to see me, I want you to value me. I come with different lived experiences, and some of them may be the same with yours, it might be different, but as a black woman I still have a different challenge when I go into certain spaces. I wouldn't feel, and that doesn't mean all black women, I'm talking for myself, I wouldn't feel comfortable to just say I'm going to get up and go to a retreat in certain places. I would have to look about my psychological safety, my physical safety, my well-being. As a black woman, I don't have the privilege like other people that could just get up and just go and do that. So I kind of want like a space where um we everybody's kind of seen, and I know that's everybody kind of says that at times, but really truly feels like when you that you'll feel psychologically safe.
Yeah.
And I know that obviously from a trauma informed, the word safety might have different meanings for different people, but I just really want it to be a space where actually it's okay to celebrate difference. It's okay, and sometimes just naming it, how are you feeling? Because you're sometimes since I've come to live in the area I am in Essex, I know that it's different from when I lived in London. I, even down to how I identify myself, I identify it completely different when I was in London. Anybody asked me, I was Black Caribbean. Since I moved to Essex, I'm Black British, because people kept on saying, when I asked me where I was from, I said I was from London. And then it was like, no, where are you really from? I'm born and bred in London, kind of thing. So then I had to then say, actually, I'm not Black Caribbean, I'm Black British,
Yeah.
because I wanted you to know I do belong. And I guess some of that was my own stuff about wanting to belong, because we all have that innate thing that we want connection, we want belonging. So I don't want to be othered, kind of thing, but I still want to be, for you to accept that actually maybe I do have differences, but I also have lots of similarities. And actually we all breathe. What color is our breath? What color is our blood? You know, and that's what's more important to us, should be more important than anything else. But because it isn't, and we don't live in a world that we all on the thing, I just want to make sure that if anybody does anything with me around Crown of Beauty, that I see you. And that's so important for me, because I want to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And again, I'm just sat here. I feel like I'm just listening and learning from you as we're having this conversation. So yeah, for the people that are listening to this, and definitely from myself, thank you. Thank you for putting that out into this space and for doing what you're doing. Tell us about what is upcoming. I know you've got an event.
Yeah, I've got an event starting on Sunday. It's Spring Clean Your Mind, Body. And so, because I think spring is that time of, nature shows us what we need to be doing and coming into our own. So I've got a 4 weeks program starting on Sunday evening. So that's the 28th of April from 8 till 9, and it's a 4 weeks program. And that's really, I've called it Spring Clean, Spring Clean Your Mind. And I kind of like, I think because, and I've spoken to you about this, having that I've kind of been on a journey with my own Crown of Beauty business. So I'm quite good at doing it for work, because
Yeah.
I don't get paid to do every single event I've done for work, which I've done so many now, is it's just part of my role. Well, actually, it's in addition to my role. But I struggled with actually, how do I ask to be paid for what I do? I've struggled with feeling like an imposter. I'm struggling with actually, do I know enough? And that's what I've loved about I almost called it Crown and Beauty from the British School of Meditation, because it's the community. So I'm able to go on like the CPDs that you provide. So I'm going from my business, but I go, and I've really sort of felt that actually you can do this, but I go in waves that I start something and then so I really want that consistency, and that's why I've kind of joined Sarah's Sarah's beginner's mindfulness course, because I want to do it myself. And in fact, when I was on there, I was like, actually, I do this for work. Why am I doing all this stuff for work? Exactly what thing? But for my own Crown of Beauty business, I haven't done as much as I would like. And so I'm in that space now of, actually, I've got this 4 weeks course starting on Sunday, and I just want to build in it, because it's actually, how do I become visible? How do I sort of not hide in my social work capacity and actually step out as Melanie, meditation teacher? I'm on this journey. Come on this journey with me. I'm getting there. Crown of Beauty. Watch this space. I'll be straightening my crown, no longer looking down when the crown keeps slipping to the floor. I'm going to be holding my head up and being authentic. And I am Crown of Beauty meditation practice, and I am here to deliver meditation.
Amazing, amazing. I feel like that is what a perfect way to kind of round off the conversation. I feel like I don't want to add anything more now, because that's just a perfect ending, isn't it? You know, straightening that crown and going out there. But I think, just to kind of say, I think we were having a conversation about that before, weren't we? That it's so natural to have that, to have that imposter syndrome, am I, should I be doing this? Am I good enough? I think it's very common in, most people when they start any new project. I've literally been sat here for the past half an hour listening to you and thinking, oh my goodness, what an inspiration, absolutely amazing. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've learned, and how you're sharing that with other people. Anybody that learns from you, I think it would be an absolute privilege to learn from you, and they would be very honored to be able to learn meditation from you. So straighten that crown. Go out there.
And a lot of credit to my teacher.
Thank you so much, Mel. It's been such a privilege to share this space with you. And as I said, to learn from you and to listen to your background and, all of that inspiration that you have to share. So your upcoming course is starting this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a place that people can book onto that?
On Eventbrite, I think just Crown of Beauty meditation practice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also my Instagram as well. So on my Instagram, there's a link to the Eventbrite.
Perfect. Fabulous. So we'll share information about that with this podcast and your Instagram page as well. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how your journey unfolds.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for this opportunity and the community.
I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.